All right, good morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. Thank you for joining us this morning for the long coffee break. My name is Sean Davenport Smith, sales engineer here at Long. And today we've got Sterling Boston with PVI, and we're going to be talking about some of the updates and changes to the Conquest water heater with the Gen 2 product. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sterling. Thanks, Sterling.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Calling in here from beautiful Fort Worth, Texas. Hope you guys are having some good weather. We're dealing with storms day to day, but the show must go on. So yeah, Sean set it up well. We've had some changes and updates to our Conquest product, which was done back in December. I'm going to roll a little video here, and it's going to show you some bullet points about the product as we go. I'll just give you a little bit of background behind this. If you're not familiar, the PVI Conquest product has been around for a few years. Back in December, we did some manufacturing changes to this, which brought some really nice features, advantages, and benefits for our customers. The product basis itself uses something called Aquaplex. So where you're looking at that heat exchanger and the pressure vessel on the right, it's a very unique duplex stainless steel that will last 3 to 5 times longer than anything out there that's glass lined in the industry. The benefit for you and your end user is you're not constantly changing these heaters out. So the typical cycle for a commercial heater is about 3 to 5 years. Depending on tank temperature, that Aquaplex actually holds up even better than glass lining. At about 160 degrees, you start to degrade the glass lining, and it shortens the life of the heater. So very unique product, very flexible on the installation side. As you saw, there's a lot of venting options available. We've continued to design this so that it'll fit through a 36-inch doorway. So for an ease of installation, getting it into an elevator or into a mechanical space, it will do that really well. This is a fan-assisted sealed combustion system on it, so it does operate very quietly. With that, we can improve the overall combustion process, and with good combustion, we can have good heat transfer. So overall, really, really nice product with some new enhancements that we're adding and we're talking about today. So physical differences, this is really a good place to start. If you look on the left, prior to December, we were building this heat exchanger out of a helical coil material. You can see those twisted coils in there. Those are called fire tubes. Fire tube design is much more forgiving than a water tube design, meaning that the flue gases are passing through the inside of the tubes, the water's to the outside. On the right side, you'll see the current generation, and this is same design, bigger BTU that we've been using all along in our 100-gallon models. So again, principle is if we can send the flue gas down through the inside, the water's coming, coldest water's coming from the bottom and flowing upwards, the fire's going downwards. It's called a counterflow design. Helps us to improve the efficiency of the overall heater itself. But it also, if you notice those little waves that you see in those tubes, those are actually pinches that will slow down the flue gas and help with the heat transfer taking place. I feel like this is an extremely forgiving design, completely built in-house in Fort Worth, Texas, using, again, that Aquaplex stainless material. Once you put the vessel to the outside of the heat exchanger itself, you can see a little bit of changes there in the actual assembly. We did a few things on the combustion side. We moved a few fittings. I'll point out right here on the old design, we have a what we call a, it's not a circulating circulator on top, but what it's doing is it's helping to stratify the storage tank. The colder the water you can get to the bottom, the more efficient that heater is going to operate. So this is helping to constantly just churn the water over inside that tank. We've moved that circulator to the side, and you're going to see the benefit of that here in this next slide. So previously, Gen 1, we had the circulator to the top of the unit. You had to service that from the opening that was at the top of the heater. Now we've moved it to the side, and if we have to service that, it's much easier to access that. You'll also notice that the fittings have all been moved to the side of the vessel as well. So from a installation and serviceability standpoint, it makes it a little easier. But let me take a look at an overview of this and see the change of the fittings. But what I really want to point out here is on the old design, the top of the vessel or the top of the jacket material was actually open. So you get on a ladder, you could look straight down into the top of that. Great for serviceability. However, if we had any overhead piping that was leaking in the system, or you have a water softener that blows up and comes apart in the mechanical space and it's spraying water everywhere, this makes the electronics inside the unit vulnerable to getting wet. So on this side, you'll notice that there's actually a crease or a seam right here in the middle. This is a two-piece spray shield. So the only actual opening to the top, which is gasketed, is for your combustion air to the unit. Most of your service is going to be done on this side, so it's a matter of removing some 5/16" screws, popping the top, and again, we're providing some extra protection there for the actual components inside, whether it be combustion fan or the controllers, things like that. So those are great improvements to the unit. Performance differences. Changing the heat exchanger actually brings us more efficiency. So our new fire tube design creates a little bit more surface area and a little bit better heat transfer. So we picked up anywhere from 2 to 3% efficiency on each of these models. And you'll notice about a year ago, we added 2 additional models to this. And at the time that we added the 1.1 million and the 1.2 million, it was in this design. So we've only had that in this new Fort Worth manufactured heat exchange design with the straight fire tubes. So a little bit extra efficiency gets us, less fuel usage. And at the end of the day, the owner has an overall lowered operating cost for the unit. So just going over continuous improvements, and that's really where this project stemmed from, was creating a better, reliable product. The pump placement certainly helps with accessing it and changing that out. There's one more change that'll be coming to this heater that's in development right now, which is going to be a welded flange fitting for that pump to be mounted to. Today we have welded studs that go on the side of the tank. That's part of our long life tank strategy. So if you notice any of the water connections, the relief valve connections, those have 4 welded studs that will have a gasketed bronze flange that gets bolted to it. The idea behind that is that if we had a weld leak in the field, in other words, if we had welded those fittings, typically that's going to be quite lengthy repair to bring in an ASME R stamped welder to fix that. On this one, we've decided that the pump placement itself gives us an opportunity to weld on a larger flange, which we use on another product that we have that's called Brigade, and it's become very tried and proven for hanging a little bit of that extra weight of that pump. But all of the other flange connections to the unit are going to be gasketed so that you can actually pop those flanges off. You can replace the O-ring, replace the flange, bolt it right back down. And if you had some corrosion that took place, maybe there was water piping above it that was leaking down, the stud was to corrode, you can actually sand or grind that area off, and you can re-weld those studs in the field very easily. Again, we talked about improved efficiency of the unit. That how to outlet gas connections on the side instead of the top. That will help with serviceability, getting in there. If you had, when you pull the burner to do an annual maintenance on it to keep that thing clean, it's going to give you a little bit more real estate to work with. Get your hands in there and do that, as well as adding that spray shield that's on the top. We do have some outdoor versions that are available, though I'd say that we really need to be looking at projects that are far south of where you're probably located right now. But perhaps you're designing or building projects that are in Southern Florida, Southern Texas, Southern California. We certainly have a product that's available for you there. All of the data has been updated on the website. This is a great resource for you. So as the example, if you go into our Conquest product page here, you'd be able to get to our technical documents. As an example, we can go into the technical brochure, which is going to give you all the dimensions and performance data for the unit. Again, a really nice product, very competitive product that's out there that gives you long life, really built with a unique material. If you've never had a chance to see how we do this, it's more than just building it out of a certain material. There's a lot of welding technology that goes into this. We've got robots that do most of the weldings on the unit, and then we do something very unique that's called a pickling and passivation process. And what that does is it removes any of the impurities in the metal. As we process the metal, as we weld the metal, we're going to be adding things that are in the environment that we want to strip back. So it literally takes the top layer off of the entire vessel, inside and out. Think of if a boat was sinking, it's filling with water. We put these vessels in a 7-step process where they completely submerge the inside and the outside, and we move them through cleaning. The pickling and passivation is a little bit of a proprietary process, but it does involve some acid baths and DI water and things like that. But at the end of the day, we give you a vessel that we can put 15-year warranty on. That's an 8-year full, a 7-year prorate, and we've had a huge success with this material, building these products out of Fort Worth. So with that, I'll turn that back to Sean. I think we've got a giveaway.
Thanks, Sterling. Can you touch base really quick on lead times and how quickly we can get these units shipped out?
That is a great question. So these are stock items for us in Fort Worth. Typically, if we've got an order of, 3 or 4, we'll get those out same day, next day. If we've got a large order, we can send those through the process in just a couple of days. The longest lead time item on building this is the tank itself. So we build up what's called a tank bank, and it's a matter of sending them through the final assembly process and doing a fire test, quality audit, grading them up and shipping them out. So typically 2 to 3 days on a large quantity of order, we can handle that for you. Great question.
Great. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sterling. Just want to remind everyone to please join us next week. Our very own Madeline is going to be talking about CRC and monitor environment products. And with that, we'll get to today's winner. They get a choice from a Top Golf gift card, a Fitbit Inspire 3, or a pen holder. And today's winner is, please reach out to your sales engineer and let them know what you would like to get. Again, appreciate everyone's time today, and hope to see you very soon. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
So everybody.